Yeah, okay. Thank you, Ben. Thank you, Mala and Katie. And thank you for our organizer who sponsoring and sponsor who sponsored these events for that. So, thank you all and welcome to my session, Data Science using Azure's SQL Server for everyone here at a data platform, Women in a Tech. Let's start with myself. I'm Alpa Budpati and I'm working as Azure consultant at Cluster Reply. Here I have provided my LinkedIn information. So if you like to have any query or would like to contact me, then please feel free to join me. Um, let's start with today's agenda. Before we start that one, uh, this session is for overview and it's for everyone. So like someone who really like to start their journey as a data scientist, then this session is for them and it help you to find out like where to start, very basic thing. So yeah, so today's agenda is divided into three main parts. So initially, in first part, I'm going to give you a very basic definition of data science, and then we're going to see our definition of Azure SQL Server, and then we'll deep dive into demo using installing Azure SQL Server and database. Then we're going to see three different way you can use them, and then we see data science very basic queries. So you can do same thing in your time if you like to do it because I have a query available, so I can share it with you end of the session. So let's start with what is a data science. So data science is the name itself says that is science about data. So and why we need them also because everyday data generates exponentially. So we really need some kind of filter mechanism on a data because this huge amount of data are generating every day, even every seconds. So we really need a data science, and we can say that data science is a branch of a computer science because it's a science about a data. And in data science do like it dealing with capturing, gathering domain related data, it processing or transforming data, and then it analyzing the data. So these are the three phases we follow or data in data science we do: collecting data, processing or transforming data, and analyzing data. So once we do that, then it will generate a meaningful information from your data. And data is not like few data; it's like big amount of data, complex data or big data. So in short, we can say data science is give us a meaningful information from a data by doing some process. So let's start with data science process or day-to-day job of the data science, what they do every day. So first of all, they will collect data and they collect data related to specific problem or a domain. Like for example, we are trying to find out predicting a goal happen or not in a sports. Then for that, we need to collect a history data about that sports, and that will be that comes as a part of the collection of a data. So once you have a data from everywhere, as much as possible data you have, because you need a huge amount of data, because data are a main backbone for any machine learning or data science process. So once you have a data ready, then you need to parse them. You need to normalize your data. So what you will do in this phase, you will cleanse your data, like you remove a missing data or replace a default value of that missing data. You remove the duplicate row or the records from your data set. You only select the features which is directly related to your problem. So like feature selections, and you do basic transformation. So your data can be a meaningful. So that comes into part two here. It's parts of a data and normalization. So once you have that phase is ready, then you can ready to write down a routine or algorithm for your data. And in after second phase, it's like mix of data science scientists can use and machine learner can use it. So it's used for data science process as well as machine learning process. So this data is ready for both process. So here, data scientists can write down a routine or algorithm or method, so which will give some specific information related to our original problem. So like it gives a it identify a trends or patterns or correlation, or it gives us a nice visualization. So for example, if you had collected data regarding sports event, then end of this phase 2 and phase 3, you will get idea that this goal happen or not in this sport, this team will do goal or not, and in so you will get a particular direction for that, and that information you can visualize as well. So these are the four main phases in a data science process, and data scientist day-to-day job is to do this kind of uh, data cleansing and routine written, and try to find out proper information from data, and this information later on used in a machine learning phase as well. So let's move into next one. So before you do a data scientist process, you need to identify from your data types. So you need to convert your data in specific types before we do further process. So here you can see that there are mainly three kind of data types in a data science process. For numerical data, so which is a quantitative data, for example age, or any kind of number which represent a number. Another one is categorical data, so here is like categories like male or female, class A, class B, class C, like that way it's give a quantitative result. And third one is ordinal, so which is a mix of numerical and categorical. So example of that is feedback rating for a session. So when you give a feedback for a particular session, then it is a mix of numerical and categorical, because when you give a rating, it's a numerical form, and when you give a comments, that one is a categorical format. So that is a mix of an ordinal, like numerical and categorical data types. So generally, these three data types we need in our data science process, and we convert them in a number sometimes. So for example, gender is male and female. So when we do a process in data science, we will say it one as a gender and zero as a one is a male and zero as a female, or vice versa. So instead of string format, it is in a number format. So these are the types. So let's move into next one, which is what is Azure SQL Server, and how.
Alpa, we have a quick question from the audience.
Yeah.
And it's about algorithms. So, and it's a rather broad question. So, how much math do you need to know to really understand algorithms, and how hard is it to learn and understand algorithms?
Yeah, it's a very good question. Actually, for initially when we start learning data science and machine learning journey, then we don't need to worry about algorithms or maths, because nowadays technology is very good, and like all tools are ready. So, for example, if we use Azure machine learning studio, then they have algorithm is already ready. So you just need to understand the process. After that, you can use algorithm, because they have already built algorithm available. Similarly, for other cloud technologies like AWS also have an inbuilt algorithm. Google also have an inbuilt algorithm. So to be a data scientist, we don't need to worry about maths or algorithms, because initially we first need to follow the phase, like how we will do that, and there is already ready-made algorithm is available, so we can use that one because it's inbuilt a module. And then after that, if we really like to learn maths and algorithm, then it's not difficult, but it's a hard work as well. So yeah.
Thank you.
So let's start with our next topic, which is what is Azure SQL Server. So this is a way, I'm just giving you very basic definition of that. So it's like a structured query language we are using in a Azure cloud. So here you can see that these are the definitions. So we can say it's a family of managed, secure, and intelligent products that use the SQL Server database engine in the cloud, Azure cloud. So here we don't need to worry about RAM or CPU or like that. We can create our Azure machine, Azure SQL Server engine or data server or database in Azure Cloud, and they have three varieties as well. So here I have provided you links. So if you like to see more information about that, then this link is very useful for that. So with that, I think we are moving into our first demo, which is the installation of Azure SQL Server. So so for that, let's go to, uh, yeah, let's go to here in Azure portal. So like anyone are new for Azure portal, then for them, they can use their Visual Studio Enterprise subscription and they will get free credit for that. And they can create account using that, or they can use uh, paid version also. So once you have a subscription, and then you just need to create your resource group. You go need to go to resource group, and you can create your resource group by, it's very simple. You can type your resource group, and that way it will create a resource group for you. So actually I have already created here. So this is my resource group which I have created for this demo. And then I have already added Azure SQL Server, but we can create. So for example, someone new, then they just need to first create resource group, and then they can create here. So once they go to their resource group, and then they add a resource, so they create here, and here they say SQL Server. So you can see you have a variety of SQL Server version is available. So you choose first one. um, this we don't need that one, just one moment. Also, you will directly click into here as well, because all resources available in here as well. Category available is here. So like for example, if I directly try from here, then I'm just creating new one. So I have my resource which we created test one. So we creating under that one. So before that, here you first need to choose your subscription. So I have used my Visual Studio Enterprise subscription, and then I have selected my resource group. I can create here as well. And here, if you see, if you click here in that icon, information icon, then it will give you more information in case you forget for all any information. So that is your subscription resource group. And then here you need to provide your database name, and they have some specific standards. So you need to give a name in a specific way, and it should be unique as well. So let's see, just creating that one. And this is my database. So I need a logical server as well. So for that, we they will ask us to create a server as well, or choose in already existing server if you already have it. So I'm just creating new one for this demo. So for you, I need to provide a server name. This is already available. So yeah, so you need to specify unique name, and here you can give your login information, like you selecting your server login name, and you selecting a password as well. Yeah, and you can choose a closest location as well. I'm using default one. So it's creating server as well and database as well. And this service is logical server. So once you have that one ready here, you can see ready is here. Then you need to define that you are using this one for sharing across a different database, or it's only for single database. So this one is only for single database. So I'm keeping as a default value. No, we don't need a elastic pool. And here we need to select our compute and configuration as well. So better to use a serverless one because it's only charged if it's running. And here you can summary as well, like how much it will charge you per month. Um, so let's increase a bit little as Kubi code, and it's a bit slow.
So while this is running, we have another question from the audience that you
Yeah.
can maybe take in between. So the
Yeah.
question is Azure free to install just like Power BI, for example?
No, it will charge you. So like this is a standard charge monthly. They will charge you for the 57. So when you install just it won't charge, but you it's storage charge because you have a data. Then even though you're not using it, but it's storing it data, so it will charge you for storage. So there are two charge, one for installation, running charge, and one for storage charge. So here you can see that there is a compute cost, and this one is a storage cost. So generally here they have estimated that storage cost is 3.57 per month, and this one is per second they will charge that one. If we running the like we selecting, we means our server or database is online and we selecting few transformation like select query or update query or anything, then it will charge uh, very minor, it's like 0.000108 per second we will charge that much. So yeah, it's not free as well, but it depends which server you have provision. Serverless is good if you not using always, but if you need it regularly, then you need a provision specific one, and that one is a bit costly. For first option is provision one is but installation is free. If you can install it if you have a subscription, and it's like very negligible charge. So there is no almost no charge if you have it. But once you have, for that you need to choose this option first of all, serverless, and you will get roughly maybe that much amount, even if it's there. So yeah. Mm, So I think I'm just these are the one. Here we need to set auto pause. So like if we are not using them, then they will automatically pause that. So we won't get any charge for that. So for that, these are the setting for that. And let's keep all other settings are default one. And so here now we are this section. We are going to select which geo location we needed. Like, do we need to have a backup in a different place, or we need only local one, depending on our criteria or problem which we are solving. Based on that, we can choose like something is very sensitive and it has to has a backup in a multiple place, then we can do it. But otherwise we can use different, like for me I can use this one because if there is no any sensitive data, so local redundancy is fine for that. So it have a two place replica, 2 or 3 place replica is available, but it's in the same place, like around the same data center. But here they are in a different place. Geo redundancy is like far from one server to another server, maybe is another country as well. So let's move into next one. So here is like we are selecting that it's our which is it under the private network or public endpoint or like that. So by default it's no access, but I just use this one. Um, and here we are setting the firewall access. So for example, if anyone would like to use this SQL server and database from, for example, I need to use in my local machine. So at that time, I need to add client IP address. So for that, I need to select this one. And for any other Azure resources like Azure Function, Azure Logic Apps, Azure Data data factory would like to access this, then we can access this one, or we can do later as well. So let's move into next one. And here we don't need that one because it's a bit charged around this amount. So it's default. We don't need it now. So that's option we can choose. And next one is here. This is the important thing. So if you like to see a sample database, then you can say sample database, select here. So it will have, you will have a server, you have a database, and you have a sample database as well. So you can choose either none or you can choose as this one. So at the moment, I'm just choosing this one for a demo purpose. So it will create a sample database as well for me. And then we do our next. So here we can specify a tag if we have some policy in our organization. But at the moment, I'm just leaving it as a blank. So let's move into next one. So this one, you can see that it will summarize here everything, like how much it will cost roughly. And you can see other information as well, like which resource group and which setting we have a use. So this is a summary for that. And then once we click here, it will create you will see what it creates. It will create here you will see how many resources it has deployed. So while it's deploying, I can show you I have already created that one. So here this is my resource group, and I had already created a server and database. So this is my database. And first time when you install, and if you haven't set a firewall or client IP address haven't added, for that you need to click here and you need to say add client IP address. So it will automatically add for you your client IP address, but I have already added, so it's the same. And you can type as well, like you want to give someone a specific person, then you can say that person's information, like test IP address. And here you can give a range as well. If you want to give more than people, more than one people, and they have their IP address in a range, then you can type here a range as well, or you can give an individual as well. And then after, you just need to click save here, then you will get access, or other person can get access, otherwise it will discard automatically. So I don't need this information because I have already added it, so I'm just discarding them. So let's move into here. So we have added a firewall access as well. We have set a firewall setting as well, and added a client IP address as well here. So because of that, now I can. This is a query view, and this is my database which we have created. Actually, which we are going to create here. So I have already created here. So this is my database. I have created like that way. And here you can see that you have overview as well. So you can see your server name and other information as well. And this is the main important thing, status. So at the moment is online. So sometimes if it's not online, then or not available, then it's paused. So you have to wait for connect it and make it online, or you try when you connect it, it will automatically make it online, but it takes few minutes for that. So and here, this is a query view. So here you can write down your query. So once first step is you install it, and once you install it, you can log in here, because we have given one admin login as well while creating. So you need to remember that login information, and then this way you can connect your database in Azure portal. While it's doing here, yeah, it's all done. So in that here, the previous step, you can see that it has we have installed we have successfully created a Azure SQL database, and it has a sample database as well. So these are the resources it has automatically created for us. So it has a created server created, and it's okay, and it has created other default information as well which is needed, and it's firewall rule also created, a policy also created, and a database also created, because we selected sample data. And if we go here in this edit, and And you can see that it has a sample database created for us. So if we expand this one, so these are the sample database which have created while installing Azure SQL Server. So I don't need this one, so I'm just closing them because we already have here available. I have already created yesterday. And so here, so these are your query editor. So here you can do basic query, but you for other complex query or creation, at that time you need to use SSDT or SSMS or like that. So, but here you can select query, view query, and update query. But it's very basic query. You can do it. So these are the tables, and this you can select object, and you can do like that way. Let's have only 5. So you can select your basic query here. You can create table as well here, and you can update basic query. You can do it here, but for complex object, you need to connect your database via other editors. So you can do this one, and like for example, if I select few queries from already written query, only those queries, so you can see that you can easily create queries here. So I already have created yesterday. So you can see that you can select all, but better not to use select star. You can use either a top or a limited uh, columns only. So you can see here that you can select query in various different ways. So here I'm just giving you basic information about SQL query itself. So these are the select query, and you can do in many different ways. So here you can see that you can select with a limited number for a file. So top 5 means it only give you a top 5 records from your database instead of all database. So you can see that here you have only yeah, you have only top 5 one. Yeah, and then here you can see that you can only select the particular columns if you like. Not all columns, because here I have a lot of extra columns, but I may not be need those all columns for my query. So that one, and then you can select other 2 columns by adding comma, and then you can give alias as well. If you like to give alias, then you can use as keyword, and then you give a alias, and you can concat them as well by just using. I'm just concating based on space, but you can have other symbol as well. And so these are the very basic queries, and you can run individual or you can do all at a time as well. Let's run one random one, which is concatenation of first name and last name. So you can see that it has I have give alias which is f name, and you can see that here it's a concatenation of first name and last name with, and here it has a extra space. So these are the very basic query. We can do it in here. uh, So you can use a select query with a filter as well, like for a particular, like I'm here saying like first name equal to this. So whose first name is Orlando, those record will get here if I run. So these are the very simple queries, and we can do it in here. So let's move into another one. So now we need to connect this one. This is we viewed via portal, this basic query, but we can do same thing in a other editor as well. But for that, let me show you that you can export a result here in different format by just clicking here. So it will give you result of this query into a file. And if you want to see only one editor, then you can say show me only query editor, or both or result editor only. So these are the video, these are the toggle button for that. And you can save your query as well, which is this query, by just clicking here. And so let's me close this one because now we don't need them. So these are the basic query editor in Azure portal, in here query editor view. And here it's almost said that show limited object explorer here, for full capacity use different tools, SSDT or Azure Data Studio or another SSMS. So these are the SQL query, Azure SQL query using Azure portal. So our next, yeah. So let's move into connect our this one via different tool. So same thing we can do in a different way. So like you can see here, you can create it using the Visual Studio as well, and you can create connect this database using the Azure Data Studio as well. So when we create here, so if you don't have a Azure Data Studio, then you can click by just download Azure Data Studio button, and if you already have it, then you can click in a here launch it now. So once you click here, it will open into your local machine. So I think I have already opened here. So you can see this one. It will open into my machine, my local machine. This one is my local machine. And I can connect query here as well. So same query I can write down here and I can run as well. Same query you can see that I have already run. And so this is the same simple query, very simple query, select query. And you can see here result as well. So for that, what you need to do when you click on a launch here, it will ask you, let me do it here again. So it will ask you to your database name. Okay. So yeah, so this window will open for you here once you click on launch. So these are the important things which you will get from your Azure portal. So your server name, which you can get it from here. In sorry, you will get it from here. If you go here in the servers, yeah, in an overview section. So like this is your server name. So in your database, in overview, you can see a server name. So you just need to copy like this way. Once you click here, it will copy and then you can use it in here. So I already have that. And you need your login information, which we have created while creating server. So this is a login information and database. So these are the database which I have created, and you can verify as here as well. So this is the database name. This is exact name I'm using there, and then I just click connect one. So it will connect that Azure SQL database into my Azure Data Studio in here, and then I can write down query here as well because it's connected. Um, so instead of writing here, I have already. So you can see that you just write down here and you can fire query from here and it will give a result into here. But this is a Azure Data Studio, which I have in my local machine. So I can do same query, which I have done already in a cloud as well, Azure Cloud. So that is the second thing. Now, if you want to do same thing in your SSMS, so for that you need to install a SQL Server Management Studio in your local machine. And then this is a very simple way. You can just connect it like how you connect other database. So you connect database engine and see here server name. Again, you will get server name, same place which I showed you earlier, which is here in a database overview, and here you just copy it, you paste here, and then this is the login information which we used and we created while we creating a database server. So once we click here, it will connect for us. So see, these are my Azure SQL Server database, which we have created earlier. And now I can access it through my local machine through SSMS. So here you can see that these are the database which created as a sample database. And here also I can do same simple query. If I do, then you can just write down or you can copy paste your same query here and you can execute here as well. So you will see that you will get same result as well here. So let's move into a bit difficult queries, and I'm just using this tool instead of other two tools because I already open here. So for selection, you can see that you use various flavor in a selection. You can select all columns, you can select particular columns, you can use a concatenation in a select statement, and so these are the ones. Um, and these are the select statement. Here you can see that you can filter as well. So when you use filter, at that time you need to use where condition. So here you can see that I'm filtering my data using the where condition. So I'm saying only give me the data whose first name is Orlando. And here,
Mala, could you mute yourself, please?
here you can see that I have added other same information but a filter with a filter. So it only give me only give the information which is related to that first name, whose first name is Orlando from a custom table. So these are the other queries. Like here you can update it. So this is a select with a filter, and now this one is a update one. So now you can update few things. Like for example, if you want to update something in here, um, what we can update, yeah, new style. Okay, it's now 1 in 0. Okay, so this one we can update it in here with 1. So I'm updating, see, you have two customers. So your two customer ID, and they both have the same first name is the same. So but here the one customer has a 1 new style and name styles, and another has a 0. So let's, for customer 1 we making it 0 here. So this record is only and only update for this customer. Okay. So if we update it, so earlier they had a 0, but now if I select, forget what query I think. Let's select this one. So you will get two customers, but now name style is 0 instead of 1 for customer 1. So these are the basic update queries. So these are the syntax as well: update, then table name, and then you are setting here what you like to update, and then you provide a condition as well. So that is update query. Similar way you can delete as well, like that, delete and then from table, and then you applied here a filter as well, because you're not deleting all records. So this is a very good thing. When you update or delete, better you will have a where condition. First you define it, otherwise there may be chance you deleting all correct data. So yeah, and then similar thing. So that are the basic update, delete, select query. But here you can union them also. So if you want to join two different data set, like you just because both data set has the same structure and same number of parameters, then you can use a select as well, union as well. So it will join both of them, union them, merge them. So here it's merging two different data set, and you can use union all as well to merge them, result of two data set into one data set. So these are the very basic skill you need in a data science one. So you need a merge two different data set, you delete some of the data row from data set, you update some of the information from your data set. So here, and there are few more available. So that are basic one I gave you, but here you can see that uh, there are a little bit different one, which is here. So here you can see that now I'm joining them. So like for example, you have a two different data set in your data science or panda data frame or any data frame, and you want to join them because you want only few columns from one table and few columns from another table. At that time you need a join scenario. So here I have used a join scenarios as well. So if you see here, so I'm joining two data set because my customer and customer address. So I'm only interested into customer address type is shipping. So here you can see that I'm using the customer address type from a second table, which is a customer address table, and I'm using everything from a customer table, which is a C customer table, and only for shipping type. Uh, it's address type equal to shipping, and I'm joining them based on a ID, common ID, because both table have a customer ID and they are correlated. So you can see now I have get data from two different data sets, two different tables, and you can have a different join as well, left join, right join, full outer join, depending on your situation. If you want a column from left side only, or you interested right side only, or interested in both of them, then according to that you can use a join, different join. And next one is a subquery. So here you can see that same thing I can use in a subquery. So subquery is query inside query. So like here I'm saying very condition, I'm specifying that like I'm saying that give me the all customers information from customer table. But I'm only interested customer whose address type is a shipping. So for that, I need to find out that this customer address is shipping type or not, but that one is not available in a customer table. That one is available in a another table, which is a customer address type table. So for that I need to get all customer IDs from here. So these are the customers ID whose address type is shipping. So and then I need to ask here in this table that only and only give me the record which match with these customer IDs. So this for this scenario, I have used a subquery. But you can use many different scenarios subquery if you need some information, like in a table, different table you have it. Sometimes you can use a subquery, or sometimes use same thing in a join as well. So these are the very basic queries in SQL, and this similar query we use in any data science process or any other project as well. So let's move into PPT slide. So I have done this demo. Then we have used Azure portal as well. Then we have used how to use the same thing in a Azure SSMS, SQL Server Management Studio. That also we have seen. And then we have seen how to connect Azure SQL Server using the database using the Azure Data Studio. So that we have also done. So now we left this. So now we need a particular query for a data science query. So I'm just giving you, this is particularly related to data science. So like what they will do, as I said earlier, they will collect data, then they will cleansing data, then they will, means they organize their data in proper format. So its data is not like just data or dummy data, but it's a useful information. So for that, I have a, let's go to that one. I will show you in a using here. This is my SQL uh, Azure Studio, Azure Data Studio, and here you can see that I have a Jupyter notebook. So here you can see that I have already created a table, but if you like to create it, then it's a very simple thing. So like that way, I first created table. Let's create it very quickly. Just so for that, in this demo, I'm just going to see what how to collect data and like that. So for example, let's say the code cell here. So here I'm just creating a new database, and I'm just adding a dummy data here. You can see that, and I'm selecting it in a, and I'm dropping a table. If you don't need, then you can drop a table as well. But let's comment out this one. Mm, need a data server name, which is this one. So you need a server name, username, and database name loading is this one, and connect. So this way you can connect it, and this query is running. So what it will do, it will create one table and insert the data into that table, and then it select again. So I think it's done. So here you can say result as well. It's supposed to select, but it looks like it's not doing here. So let's add a cell, code cell, and you can type it here. And if you run it, then you will see what date you will see 8 row available now. You can see that I have inserted 8 rows in that table. Okay. So similar way, I have already created my sample data for a movie. So you can let me run this. So you can see I have a data here, and I have a dummy data as well. Because some of my data is here, you can see it has a missing null, and some of them has here a 0. You can see 2 place I have a 0 and 2 place I have a null. So this data is not a accurate data. And this is a very simple data, but in real life you have millions of data, so you can't find out by your eyes. It's very difficult to find out. You need few days to find out all other information for that. So I have here very simple data, and it is I think 24 rows. So in 24 rows, you can see that I have this rating is not correct, and I have these are not correct as well because they are null. So my data is not accurate. So I need to now take a decision. Shall I remove my data whose rating is null and whose rating is 0, or I can replace it with a default value? So that one I can answer like based on available data. So if, for example, here taxi, so because they both are 0, 0, so it look like there is no other movie here who has a taxi and has a higher rating. So I think better to remove this two row, fifth and eighth one. But for this one, 23rd and 24th record. So you can see that this is a Fast and Furious 9 and MI3. Here rating is missing. But if I see in my database and see, is there anyone have given rating for Fast and Furious 8 or 9 or any other series? Then I can say yes, because there are so many and they are very good rating as well. 5, 4, and for MI series as well. So they have a 5 and 4. So that's why for these two record, I shouldn't take to delete them. I maybe decide to give them average rating based on what I gave for these two movies, Fast and Furious or MI. So here I will replace record with a average value, and here I maybe delete it or I can use a average value. It depends on who are working and based on which problem you are resolving, how critical your problem or data or domain. Based on that, generally data scientists take a decision as well as a discussion with a domain expert as well. So let's see here. So this is a simple query I ran in Azure Data Studio, and this is very good because it helps you to export and visualize as well. You can visualize your data as well in Azure Data Studio. So now I got idea that I have a few two rows which has a null rating and two rows which has a 0 rating. So that row I have to do something. I have to either replace them or I have to delete them. So, for that here you can see that I'm trying to find out anyway, which I manually find, because if we have more records, then it's not good to find out in manually. So you can see that it will give me 4 results. And because I say that if my rating is null or my rating is 0, give me the all records whose rating is 0 or null. So you can see that this 4 record has a 0 or null. But in real life, it won't be that simple. It has a lot of data which has a missing information. So here you can see that now I'm replacing that missing value. I'm taking the decision and I'm replacing missing value with a average value. So you can see that I'm updating my movie table, and I'm updating a rating, and I'm updating a rating with a average one. So I'm saying give me the average rating from that table and update for that missing rating. So if I run this one, it look like it's taking time. Okay, let me copy again and typing here. So here, I'm saying them update rating who's so in this table, if any ratings which is 0 or null, only update those rating and update with a average value of or average value of all rating. So it's look like it has updated. So let's select again. So if I select, let's go to little up because we already have a query here. So if I run now, so you can see that there was a two missing value for MI and fast and furious one. So you can see that they have replaced with 3 because 3 is the average rating of all rating in this table. So now I have a data, have all information. So if I run now this query, then this shouldn't return anything because because it's updated already. There are 4 records which has missing information or incorrect information, and it's replaced now. So it's look like now my data is slightly correct. So you can see that now I'm selecting distinct value. So I'm selecting the distinct value from a table. Uh,
Just missing the S on the table name.
Yeah, I think yeah, thank you. So here you can see that now my distinct records. How many I have it? Is it 22 or 24? 24. Okay. So it's look like I have all available data and they are a distinct one. So I don't need to worry about to remove a duplicate records. But if I have a duplicate records, I think I already have replaced it. Otherwise, earlier it has a duplicate value. So for that, what I did, I have tried to find out duplicate values by using the different values. So here you can see that uh, I'm trying to find out how many times same record is coming. I think it's this very. So here you can see that okay, there is a one record is duplicate. Okay, so here you can see that this one is appearing in 2 times, and this one is a duplicate record in my database. So other records are only coming one time. That sorry, that one as well is here. Skyfall is coming 5 times, and Die Another Day also coming 5 times. So I have a duplicate records. Earlier I said it not, but yeah, I do have a duplicate records. So for that, I have to remove them. I have to take decision that do I need to use all 5 records for Die Another Day? Do I need all 5 records for Skyfall? And do I need all records for Taxi and Who Kills Her? No. So I need to take a decision here. So first of all, I need to find out all duplicate records. So we have in 4 place. And then, so here is a query which give you now a similar query, but it's give you now only the duplicate information, not all information. So here you have all information with a duplicate or a single. It will find out how many times appearing. So here I'm now getting only the duplicate records. So like these 4 records and they are duplicate and they are coming for 2 times, 2 times, 5 times and 5 times. So now I need to remove them duplicate value. So I have take a decision here. So I'm just saying that only whose ID is latest ID because these are auto increment. So whose ID is the latest one, only consider latest record and the rest of remaining one delete them. So that decision I have to, but let's see what I'm saying here. So here you can see that. So here now I'm getting actual duplicate, only the duplicate records, but like see, here with ID as well. So here you can see that 4. Um, so so these are coming for 5 times, but you can see these whose ID 39 is latest one. So I'm only will keeping the ID for this movie is 39, and for this movie I'm only using the ID 40. I will keep ID 40, but I will remove other are there. There are 4, but I will remove them. And here I will keep only the latest ID, which is a 31. So similarly for other as well. So for that, these are my query. Oh, sorry. Have we done this one? Yeah. So that is the query. Um, and here you can see that I have just added different flavor of same query as well. So here, instead of a group by and having, let me give you a little bit more information about that. So here you can see that we have used a group by and having. So it will do aggregation for us. The same thing we can use using the window function as well. So here are the another query, but here we are using the window function, which is over and partition by name and rating. And here you can see the same result as well. So let's move into last one, I think. So because in last one, I am deleting the old. So these are the duplicate IDs, and these are not latest one as well. So I'm just deleting records uh, based on their appearance in insertion. So who inserted last, I'm keeping only that record which is duplicate one. So this is the one which will delete or duplicate record and only keeps the latest one. So you can see that it executed and 10 record affected. So now earlier I had a 24 records, but if I see now I select this query here, first query, if I execute this one, you can see that now I have only 14 records because now I have a duplicate. I have deleted duplicate record as well. So now my data set is perfect, and these are the 14 records. And now it can be used for algorithms, writing algorithms or any machine learning other process. So these are my data, and it's now cleansing one. So with that, I think let's move into slide. So with that, I think I finished the demo. So key takeaway. So for key takeaway for this session is that data science is for everyone, and everyone can do a data science. Like anyone who have handled the Excel with a late data, and they have understand their data and they visualize data in a chart, that means it's a lower level data science job. So that means you are doing data science job. So next one is you need to ask a question for a specific domain solution. When you have a problem and you specific problem you're going to solve using data science process, then you have to ask a lot of questions because you have a lot of data, and you need a data as well, and you need to understand about your data as well. And these 3 tips is related to coding or picking a right tool. So you can use a Python or R. You can do Python even in Azure SQL Server as well, in SQL Server 2019. So you can use Azure SQL Server if you are familiar with SQL Server, or you can learn Python or R or C Sharp. So and tool like you can use a Jupyter Notebook, Azure Machine Learning Studio, which is very good for any new starter. And you can use Data Studio as well, Azure Data Studio, Jupyter Notebook, as well as there are few other tools as well, or you can install tools in your local machine as well. And then you pick a cloud technology, because nowadays cloud technology already have inbuilt you can say like modules, algorithms available, and it's very easy to create a machine learning or data science solution very quickly. So most of the time, 70% to 80% data scientists for job for do data cleansing, and rest of the job for using algorithm or developing algorithm. So yeah, pick cloud technology like Azure or anyone else. So with that, I would like to thank you for attending this session, and thank you for organizer, sponsor, and Ben and Mala and Katie for that. And I'm now open with a question.
Thank you so much, Alpa. The first question that we had is, will you be able to share that notebook that you used for the data cleansing demo? Because people would like to play with that. Awesome.
Definitely. Yeah.
That was the only question we've had left so far, but if any of the attendees has additional questions, please bring them in either through the chat or the Q&A. I also posted the link to the next session because, as you all know, this event goes on all day, and the next session will be in another Zoom meeting and will be the amazing Steph Locke talking about regression techniques. So kind of the next step after what Alper just showed us with cleansing data, because once you've got a proper data set to work with, then comes, as Alpa also perfectly described, the step where we actually only start applying algorithms and all that to it. So, any more questions?
I just would like to share here that here I have useful link information for if you like to start data science journey. So even in Channel 9, they have a very nice training course available. Even Microsoft also have a Pacific Day. They provide free trainings and they give a free voucher for exam as well. Specifically, fundamental of data science and data platform, and fundamental fundamental as well. And here, I think this is a very good exam if anyone would like to start, which is a DP100. So I have added links as well here. And also I have added link for chart sheet for SQL query as well. All SQL query, if someone are very new to SQL, then they can use that chart sheet. So they will give you very clear picture within 3 pages of PDF. Yeah, that's it from my side.